Hi, welcome back. Amy Ramsey here with InvestorBucket.com. Today I want to go over a transaction called subto, or you might have heard of it as subject to. So it actually is in short for subject to the existing loan or mortgage, subject to the existing mortgage as well. So I did create a little diagram here to help us out today, but before we get started, I do want to read this disclaimer. So I am not a licensed CPA or an attorney. My views are from my personal experiences only and are not meant as legal advice for you. So please consult with a real estate attorney and or a CPA for any legal recommendations pertaining to any transactions or business that you may be party to. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So you have your seller here, and for some reason he wants to sell his house, but the seller owns this property, he owns this house. He is also making payments to his bank for his mortgage. So basically, what is subject to is, so the seller and the buyer will actually come to an agreement to purchase the property. And in some situations, this transaction might be helpful, and it is a win-win situation for all parties involved. And we're not going to get into that right now. We're just going to go over what a subject to is. So basically, a subject to is when the buyer comes in to the seller and he offers to purchase his property subject to the existing loan. Now, what that means is that the seller is going to go into contract with the buyer to purchase the house. So the house will be deeded to the buyer, but the bank where the seller pays his mortgage will stay the same. The payments will stay the same. The mortgage will stay in the seller's name. The credit for the mortgage will stay in the seller's credit. Everything, the contract between the seller and the bank will remain the same. So what this means is that basically the buyer is going to start making or take over the payments to the bank for the seller. So when this transaction closes and the property is purchased by the buyer, this seller will no longer be making these payments, and this seller will no longer own this property. The seller will only have a contract in place with the mortgage holder. Other than that, the seller has nothing to do with the house and does not pay the payments anymore. The buyer is now making the payments, and the property from the closing title office is deeded into the buyer's name. Now, keep in mind that if you are the buyer and you do use this transaction, you definitely are responsible for making these mortgage payments. One, not only will it affect your seller's credit, but two, you do stand a chance of losing the property because the bank does not care whose name this house is in. The bank will come and take it if you stop paying on it. And also the seller can step back in and take the property as well. He can foreclose on you as well, but the bank can foreclose also. We'll get into those details later on. Now, that's a basic subject to. So in short terminology, you are taking over an existing loan, you are making the payments for an existing loan, and you are going to keep the property. This transaction is a little tricky, and I know you have a lot of questions about it. You're going to question, why would the seller do something like this? You're going to question, why does the buyer need to do it like this? And you also have a lot of questions on, what does the bank think about transactions like this? So all those questions will be answered, but not in this video. So subscribe, and that way you can keep in contact with all the videos. If you have any questions on the video today, or like the ones that I brought up, feel free to leave a comment. I will get to those questions and I will answer those accordingly. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can reach out to me on Instagram, InvestorBucket.com if you want to learn more, and go ahead and sign up with us. But definitely remember to subscribe, and that way you can follow along with all of my up and coming videos. So I'll talk to you soon. And until next time, have a great day.